Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the 8-Bit Adventures Podcast, bringing you the latest and greatest geeky news of the week. I am your host, Sean Hayes, and with me is my wonderful co-host, as always, Courtney Bolin.
Hey, everybody.
So, sorry for the little bit of a late start. It's, once again, Discord deciding to just not... Deciding to add in an echo where there should be no echo. So... Yeah. Who knew? Putting headphones on creates echoes instead of removing them. So whatever. I don't know.
I think that's the weirdest thing about it all was that having headphones,
putting headphones on did not solve the problem.
Yeah.
So hope you all have been having a great week. It has been bitterly cold
a week
here. It has been awful in terms of weather. And probably for Courtney, as she's not feeling well. That's why we've got her mugshot.
I was gonna say, yeah, no. Basically, a lot of the weather not being good has basically caused Courtney to not be good.
That's true.
Which we Sean and I know that is kind of par for the course.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, it's when humidity or barometric pressure gets to a certain degree, it's Courtney's basically skeletal structure shuts down.
Oh man. It's like I'm a Warforged and everything and the computers are humming at just the wrong frequency, and I'm just starting to glitch.
Too much humidity, too much pressure, not enough pressure, or whatever, and the bread just it fails.
Yes.
Bread dough. So,
but I am still here.
Yes, and that's good because so we actually have non-video game news to talk about this week.
Yeah.
It's a lot of Disney Plus news. So
yeah.
Well, and a lot. I mean, 2 news items, but
it's half Disney Plus move. Yeah.
So I will stipulate some of the stuff that we have on the agenda. We're not going to do spoilers, so you don't have to worry about it. We're just going to talk about sort of the overall stuff happening or the circumstances around the items, as opposed to the content within. And when we go through them, it'll make sense what I'm talking about. And then we do have some D&D news.
Yeah.
That's going to be part of our deep dive talking about that. So if you're a D&D fan, this will be an episode for you. And we're going to talk about Stardew Valley because that's what we've been playing. Because that's what I've been playing off stream. So, as a reminder to patrons and Twitch subscribers, since you aren't doing it, aside from Courtney and Heather,
I'm getting my email, and before I'm even getting out of bed, I'm doing the 3 clicks that it takes to make my vote.
It's there's a weekly game poll that goes out each week to vote on which game gets played. And so that's a perk of being a supporter.
So you get to choose what you watch.
Yeah, like you get to decide. And so when the 2 aforementioned people have similar tastes in things, it often just ends up being 2 votes to whatever, and it's like, well, I guess that's what I'm playing this week. So, but yeah, that's just
or
a
sometimes
reminder.
I'll throw
Also,
something completely out of left field and vote for something that I've never seen before because I'm like, ooh, what's this?
Yeah. I guess check your spam folder if you're not getting the messages.
Or if you've been having your Patreon messages automatically go into, say, a Patreon folder, if you've been having it auto sort, because I know I was for a little bit and I had to check those settings.
Okay.
Just double check those settings. Check your Patreon folder if you've made one. Because then if they're automatically going in there, that might be another reason why you're not immediately seeing them.
Yeah.
Because that happened for me the first couple of times.
Yeah. And to clarify, so this is a benefit that's available to all patrons.
Yep.
So no matter what Patreon level, as well as all Twitch subscribers. So it doesn't matter what tier you are, if you're Twitch Prime or whatever, you get those emails.
Mhm.
and you get those votes.
Yeah.
So,
This is
basically, I say that because essentially we're going to do another week of Scott Pilgrim. So, so there is that. I guess a couple other things. So for those that are watching live, there are some new commands. Um, just one of which being respect. The other one being lurk. Okay. Uh, so I typed those in the chat. So basically, I'm gonna try and work on not using ableist terms. I mean, I was kind of trying that before, but I'm gonna make a renewed effort to do that. So,
cool, cool.
let's just be nice, you know.
I
Um,
can get behind that.
yeah, uh,
Be excellent to each other.
yeah. Um, so yeah, and with that command, there's an article that talks about it in there. So this isn't to say that I'm one of those people that goes around and throws around like slurs, but just avoiding terms that aren't necessarily slurs, but still, uh,
You're being more mindful with your lexicon.
yeah. I mean, that's basically what it is just be a little bit more considerate. So
Cool, cool.
that's all. I just wanted to get that out there. I'm always trying to improve the stream and the podcast and stuff that I do.
And yourself.
Yeah.
You know,
Um,
us making these efforts is we're just trying to make the world a better place than when we left it.
a little bit. A little bit. Uh, for Critical Role fans, how is that working out for you? No spoilers, but holy moly. Maybe we
Whoa!
should do like a bonus episode for patrons or something where we just talk about it. And just have Critical Role spoiler cast or something each week. I don't know. But
Yeah.
anyway, enough of that. Why don't we get into our quickfire news, shall we?
Yes.
And I did the right one this time.
Woo!
So WandaVision episodes 1 and 2 are currently up on Disney Plus. New episodes release on Fridays. So again, I don't want to get into spoilers. But this is
Well,
a
it's great because
show.
I haven't gotten a chance to watch it yet.
This is a show where, uh, if you don't know what's going on, that is the intention of the show. Okay,
Yeah, I'm like
that's
everything
not a
that I've
spoiler.
seen
You are not supposed to have an idea of what's going on because it's kind of a mystery.
because
Um,
neither Wanda nor Vision knows what's actually going on.
kind of. It's a
Okay.
little weirder than that, but that's Scarlet Witch's powers are weird, so it
Mhm.
does help if you have seen um basically Endgame and Infinity War, just because this is where it kind of picks up from.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
these are shorter episodes. There are, kind of around the 20-25 minute mark. Um,
Oh.
and it was just the fact that we got 2 episodes to start off with instead of one.
I
So
was
I
gonna
don't
say
know if
because
we're going
I
to
was
get two
expecting
episodes
2
a week.
hour-long episodes.
No, no,
Oh,
no. So
okay.
I don't know if we're going to get 2 episodes a week instead of 1 episode a week because they're shorter. Because The Mandalorian was like 45-minute episodes.
Yeah, that was, like, standard I'll say standard, quote, hour-long
Yeah,
shows.
yeah.
Like, oh, interesting.
Hmm.
That means that I could do WandaVision in, like,
Yeah.
a night.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
No, like, when it's
Especially
all done.
especially if you just did it
When the
right
season
now.
is yeah.
Like, you could get it done tonight.
I mean, I could get that and, well, it's too bad we'll have to wait another month for the other thing that's coming.
Yeah. Um, so, Courtney, would you like to talk about the
Yeah.
next item?
I would love to talk about the next item. So, Disney Plus did not start with this, but all seasons of the Muppet Show are coming to Disney Plus on February 19th. So it's I can't remember the exact words to the song, but
It's time to play the music. It's time to light the
yes,
lights.
it's time. I couldn't remember the
It's time
first
to
line.
raise
It's
the
time
curtain
to light the lights.
on the
Yes.
Muppet Show tonight.
Yes. I will admit I did not watch this show when I was a kid, but when I was in undergrad, and this was I mean, Netflix was still doing DVDs at that point.
Mhm.
Um, and you could get full seasons of Muppets on DVD.
Yeah,
And
I have them.
one of my boyfriends at the time, his roommate had Netflix, and so he had gotten one season after the next of the Muppets, and there was a good 6-month period where we were just watching the Muppets, and that's all we watched, and I loved it. So I'm really excited that the Muppet Show is coming to Disney Plus. I know that 8-Bit had made a post earlier this week
It
or
was
late last week
it
about
was
this.
today.
No, 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 no. I shared something earlier too, earlier this week, and it was questions about like why didn't it come out with it?
Then maybe it was
Um,
yesterday.
Possibly. My days are just kind of running together right now. Um, I have a feeling that this Muppets, along with a few other Disney titles, like Incredibles 2 and Into the Woods, there was some previous contract things that made it so that they couldn't come over immediately to Disney Plus. So I have a
Yeah.
feeling this is what was going on with Muppets too.
Hmm.
Is they had some contract that they had to let run out. So, but now we're getting
Yeah, I'm
it.
not sure. Yes. Next up, switching gears over to Wonder Woman 1984. Um,
Mhm.
so Warner Brothers is pulling out from HBO Max on January 24th. I think the assumption is that's when it is also leaving theaters,
Okay, that would make sense
maybe,
because
or it's
it
some limited time release deal and then it'll stay in theaters longer or something so that like people could stream it if they want, but then if you miss that window, you have to go see it in the
but if
theaters.
people really had wanted to stream it, they would have streamed it during right when it came out kind of
Probably.
thing.
Yeah. Um And I mean, the assumption is it will come back because Warner Brothers has signed all in on HBO Max. So
Oh, yeah, I have a feeling it's kinda like a early release kind of
yeah,
thing.
my guess it's some kind of weird because they're going to do this with every film that comes out.
Huh,
They're going to simultaneously release to streaming and theaters.
interesting.
So my guess is this is a way to help placate theaters from being a little uh, rabid about movies getting released directly to streaming.
Yeah. Yeah, because they still have, like, contracts and stuff, like, movie theaters also have contracts, so
Um, sort of.
yeah,
It gets tricky.
yeah, but there's usually some sort of agreement of if it's gonna be in theaters, how long it's gonna be in theaters,
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah. So I guess what I mean is typically that would be done like on a per movie basis.
Oh, yeah, I didn't say it was like, all of yeah, it's usually per movie of how long it's gonna
Yeah.
be here, and that's why you have the drive-through that played, what was it? I wanna say it was the movie Dick, about the political movie in, like, the late '90s, early 2000s,
Mm,
and it played at a drive-through for, like, an entire year,
yeah,
and other movies kept going around it too,
yeah. I mean,
but
if you substitute in the Abyss or Sphere, I mean, you basically just described HBO, circa New Millennium. Uh, where that was on all the time, where one of those movies was on all the time. And they would have others like newer stuff show up around it, and then it would just like resurface right back in and just slide right back into the schedule.
Oh, so it's like Harry Potter movie marathons these days.
Kind of, except those are except the Abyss and Sphere are standalone films. They're not part of a
Yeah.
series or anything, and they're not related in any
Oh,
way, shape, or
interesting.
form. Yeah, no, they're totally different. Um,
Very interesting.
yeah, they're just both movies that are about aliens underwater. Uh,
So Shape of Water before Shape of Water?
no,
Okay.
no, no.
Okay.
Also, very
That makes
different
it
plot lines.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, the Abyss is so the Abyss basically has a twist where it's like it's kind of intended to be like Close Encounters of the Third Kind, but underwater. Um,
Interesting.
and then you don't like really like get that it's aliens until like the very end. Kind of sort of like Close Encounters in that regard. Um,
Okay.
and then Sphere is kind of more of like a weird thriller that has a
Just
lot
a
of
weird
psychological elements.
interesting.
Yeah. So, all
Very interesting.
right. Uh, last up, Candlekeep
Yeah.
Mysteries is the going to be the newest D&D release. It is a collection of standalone adventures set in Candlekeep, which is in the Forgotten Realms. So there's that, um but it is from a variety of authors. Um that releases March 16th. So it features adventures from, and I'm going to pull up the list.
I
Hang on.
got it. Grimet Barber, Kelly Lynn D'Angelo, Allison Huang, Mark Humes, Jennifer Kretschmer, Daniel Kwan, Adam Lee, Ari Levitch, Sarah Madsen, Chris Perkins, Michael Polkinghorn, sorry, um, Tamor Rayman, Derek Ruiz, Kiana Shaw, Brandis Stoddard, Amy Vorpal, and Tony Winslow Brill.
Yeah.
Haha.
Um,
Um,
so we definitely it's some
I'm sorry for
voices
any names that I massacred.
that have sort of popped up within the past year, I think, during sort of Wizards of the Coast's reckoning, as it were, um,
That's what we're calling it now.
of just among the various mishaps and
Hmm.
blunders that they've put themselves through. Um, so yeah, I mean the interesting thing though is that you would think um I mean books typically take a lot longer than a couple months to a year to put out. So if these
Hmm.
were in production for a while versus I mean because it's sort of a collection of adventures if they were able to do a much faster turnaround.
Yeah, the
Um
cool thing is this is a full collection of 17 short standalone D&D adventures.
yeah.
So it's 17 one-shots for characters level 1 to 16, and I'm really in love with this
So
entire
that
thing. I
part's
want to run
exciting
it.
because typically stuff that's done quote unquote in house for Wizards of the Coast does not facilitate high level play.
Yeah, I'm really, really excited about this.
Yeah.
I have already told Sean and Heather my plan, and Joe knows it as well. Um, that as a form of team building and getting to know you, I want to run some of these mysteries.
Yeah. Oh, so
And
that's the thing. So with the title, actually, what?
mhm,
Before we get too much further into this, uh,
yes.
that's gonna wrap up quick fire news.
Hmm.
So let's go into our deep dive on Candlekeep Mysteries. shall we?
Yes.
All right. So true to the name, these are all mystery-based adventures.
Yeah.
Um, and a couple of interesting points for folks to keep in mind. Um, so at least one of the adventures is going to factor heavily on accessibility, um, because that is a big feature that Jennifer Kretschmer has been pushing in
Mhm.
design, among others. But particularly the adventure that she worked on factors that into the dungeon design itself. Um,
Which is really cool.
yeah. So ways to think about accessibility in your own games. You can use this as like a starting point to think about that and ideas to take from
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
So
No,
also
I'm
like
super excited because each adventure begins with you find a book.
oh
You
that's
find
cool.
a
Yeah. Well, because
Yeah.
Candlekeep I think is a library. It's kind of like a library wizard tower type thing.
Yes. So this is according to D&D.wizards, like this is from them. So Candlekeep attracts scholars like a flame attracts moths. Historians, sages, and others who crave knowledge flock to this library fortress to peruse its vast collection of books, scribbled into which are the answers to the mysteries that bedevil them. Many of these books contain their own mysteries, each one a doorway to adventure. Dare you cross that threshold? Like I'm just so excited because I am a big fan of one, I love a good mystery, and
Yeah.
if you can make it like I love mysteries that you can make funny and that you can make silly and that you can make like Clue. I'm
Yeah.
not really one for jump scares. So that is I like puzzles, I like riddles, I like all those types of things. And so the fact that this is a book of one shots entirely all surrounded
Yeah.
around
So
mysteries and stuff like that, I love it.
for the uninitiated, we'll say.
Yes.
So what we mean by when we say one shots are self-contained adventures that
Mhm.
do not have to tie to a larger storyline.
Yes.
So, like if it were part of a TV show, they might be like filler episodes, uh, or just a self-contained episode.
The beach
But
episode.
if if you want to, you could thread elements into a larger storyline to make it part of a larger story. But
Absolutely.
the intention is that you could, uh, in theory, start and finish this adventure in one session.
Yeah.
Is the intention?
Yes. It might be like a 4-hour session minimum, but
Yeah.
the idea is that you can yes, it is a one it is not does not have to be part of a series. You do not have to have
At least
run any of the other ones. I can open this book and point and
I
pick
say
one.
that, and I know that's the definition of one shot. I
They are
don't. I so
17
not
short standalone.
okay.
They can be run as one-shot games,
Okay.
ac
I don't
directly
know if that
according
will
to
actually be the
Wizards.
case for these adventures in this book. Is what I mean.
No, these adventures can be run as one-shot games.
Okay. There we go.
Yes, yes,
Cool.
direct that is directly quoted from Wizards.
Cool.
Um, or as Sean just said, they can be plugged into an existing Forgotten Realms campaign or adapted for, like, say, a Jamora campaign setting.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, one
So
of my favorite things is taking stuff from Forgotten Realms and throwing it into Jamora and just saying it just all you got to do is just change around a few names and throw it somewhere in the world and
yeah, like, throw up the location and, yeah, you're good.
yeah.
But
And I mean, well, and especially with sort of a singular location like Candlekeep,
yep.
um, it's a little more difficult when you have to like traipse all over the world and like there's all sorts of different locations. Um, but at the very least, like
See,
when
I
it
just
starts at a certain point, like it's easy to lift that and place it anywhere. So, if you're not a fan of
see
Forgotten Realms, but you really like this book, I mean, you could just take Candlekeep itself and just throw it into wherever.
yeah, I'm legitimately just imagining that library in Avatar, like that in Last Airbender,
Kind
like of
of.
just and not in the, it's gonna be filled with deadly sand and I mean there might be a giant sentient owl going around there. I don't know. I don't know that much about Candlekeep or Forgotten Realms, but it wouldn't surprise me if an owl Aarakocra was hanging around
Um,
there.
I mean,
I
you could put one in there. That
was to
said,
say I want to put one in there.
it is a location that comes up in Descent into Avernus.
Yeah.
You do have to end up going there before you get
As I
to
said, I
Avernus.
know nothing of it. So all I think about really is that huge massive library.
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of the main component of it.
Cuz also I like the fact that it's a fortress. Candlekeep is a fortress,
Yeah.
which is just going to get things really really funny when
Well,
I get the
because
book.
it's kind of like a standalone location.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, if you don't have a town or a village or city around you, and you're just like out in the wilderness, I mean that it kind of has to be a fortress.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm not
Um,
saying it,
and that's kind of a feature of Forgotten Realms is that there's a lot of locations where it's like a keep out in the middle of nowhere, and that like suddenly becomes a location to go to, uh, as opposed to having like a town or a city around it.
yeah.
At least for
It's
the
it's
Sword
not
Coast, because
it's
it's a
not the
very Sword
Cobalt
Coast.
Soul Reserve libraries that are in the middle of town that are all of that. It's like this is the destination. This is like going to IKEA.
Um, I think what the point that I was trying to get at is, so especially with the Sword Coast, is you don't have nations. Is
Okay.
It's all city states. So like
Okay.
once you go outside the city, that's where it ends. Like that's where so um like it might have influence, but
Mhm.
largely, kind of once you get outside the town or city limits, like that's where the the property ends, if that makes sense.
Uh-huh.
Whereas
Yeah.
like in Exandria, like there's nation boundaries and stuff all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Eberron's kind of the same way. Um, but yeah, Sword Coast is very like independent stuff.
yeah. But I'm very excited about this. The book also includes a poster map of the library fortress, and detailed description of Candlekeep and its inhabitants.
Mhm.
And the alt cover is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's
So unlike other alt covers, this one is actually fairly light on the artwork, and instead makes it look like, I mean, kind of like an older style, like leather bound book.
yeah, that's what I would get. That's how I would have described it.
Um, so like in terms of ornamentation and everything, it's simpler, but it's very nicely done.
Yeah, and it has a soft touch finish. But
Yeah,
again, according to Wizards.
yeah. It's kind of made to look like a dust jacket.
hmm
So yeah. Any final thoughts on that?
No, I'm just I have lots of things going around in my head about how I want to run some of these before I've even thought about them.
Hmm.
Like like theme night would be wonderful. Like a really fun way to do like, oh yeah, it's just a murder mystery night, you know. I want to do one of these on a train.
Yeah.
Take any Agatha Christie story, and I want to just put this in it.
Also, I will point out uh, that you could pick up this book and run a session using the free rules that are available.
Yes.
And it would probably be comparable. So you could run one adventure from the book, and the price would probably be comparable to like all those murder mystery date night kits that keep getting
Oh
advertised on
yeah.
Facebook and Instagram and everything. Uh, and you have 16 other adventures that you could run
Yeah.
with a group of people.
Yep.
Just saying.
Yeah. I'm there's lots of ideas going around in my head, and I'm glad that this comes out in March because August September is when that's gonna happen at some point.
Okay.
At least one adventure.
Yeah.
At least one. But yeah, that's the thing. Then there's 16 more to
Yes.
there's just so many, and I really like this because this is the type of this is my final thoughts. Actually, I will say I really like this book coming out because one, I have DM'd a grand total of once. We have video evidence of it. Um,
We do.
but I
It's still saved as a VOD on this channel, in fact.
yeah. um, but with that, I really liked it, and I just wish that I had had something that was a little bit more guided, which this is. And
Yes.
like having having read through some like adventures and things like that, it's very nice to say, okay, hey, we're having like we've had this issue before sometimes where it's like, hey, we can't run tonight and we can't run the alt game. So what do we want to run? Do we want to just do, because I know that they used to make just different adventures, but they weren't always one shots. And I really like that this is a collection of one shots that can all be weaved together if you choose to. But you can say, hey, we really need something to do tonight. Uh, we don't really want to play a regular game, or we can't play a regular game for whatever reason. And you can pull out this book
Yeah.
and say, hey, I have something, maybe you need the afternoon to finalize some setup of stuff, but you do it all theater of the mind, and you're really able to say we didn't have anything and now you have this great
Yeah.
mystery one shot.
I will say, for anyone that wants to run a one shot and actually have it take one session, I highly recommend pre-generated characters.
Oh yeah.
Is that you have characters already made up and you hand them to people, because otherwise you could waste 3 or 4 weeks of people trying to decide what kind of characters they want for a game that's going to take one session.
Yeah. Or go in knowing that it's like, oh, I would love to play Nat, my tiefling
Or
bard, in this.
alternatively, you make everything random,
Oh,
or something, just something to speed up character creation or character selection, so that way
mm-hmm.
you are not spending the entire session just trying to get characters done, and that you
Yeah.
actually get to play.
Yeah.
Just speaking
Yeah.
from
That
experience.
is that is wonderful advice, Sean. Absolutely.
As
Fully
someone that
agree.
um, has had campaigns that got delayed by a month because people couldn't get characters made.
Hmm.
So,
But
yeah, Candlekeep Mysteries, March 16th, 2021. Be on the lookout for that, as well as any further information coming out on books later this year. We probably won't get that until later this spring, I think.
yeah.
So, all right, switch gears a little bit. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Stardew Valley 1.5. I know we covered it on the podcast a couple weeks ago, but and I played one session of it basically on stream. And then other stuff came out and nobody wanted to see it again. But I've been playing a
I
lot of it
wanted to
off
switch things
stream.
up, Sean.
I've been playing it off stream. Courtney's been, Courtney just play Stardew Valley. I mean, that's
Yeah,
another
I mean, I just
thing.
play. Like, let's
Um, so yeah, I wanted to get just talk about impressions on 1.5 and some of the changes and everything.
Yeah, especially after your comment last night, with the journal scraps, um,
Oh well, the
or the
secret
secret
notes.
notes.
Yeah, I had never gotten the magnifying glass before,
Yeah.
and you have to have that to get secret notes. So I've never done
Yes,
it
you d
before because
yes, you
I've never done
do.
that quest.
So, yeah,
Uh,
so basically you're there's some stuff from 1.4 that's new
which come to
for
find out,
you.
because I used the wiki to play, I looked at all the secret notes and I'm like, well, none of this stuff actually helps me to do anything, so I'm not going to worry about it if I can't get them done.
No, but they're fun little puzzles to do. Um,
Yeah, some of them aren't even
and
puzzles though.
no, I told you that.
It's just there's
I
one that's
told you.
just like on lucky days go through the trash. It's like okay,
Yeah, and there's one that's a picture of Jazz and Marnie. Like, just go with it, bro.
right? I was like, what am I gonna have to do? Like, is this? I don't know. Like,
There's a
is this
couple
some
that
kind of
are
puzzle in there?
I
No. Nope.
Yeah, no.
I
I
will
mean, but
say,
then you're also telling me things now. Like, I didn't know that you could place fish inside the tanks. I thought that when you bought the tanks, they would be just pre-generated with like cute little fish
oh no,
dots.
no, they're empty. So for fish
Because
tanks,
fish tanks are new for 1.5.
you get to place seaweed, rocks, and coral in there. Um, you can then place a certain number of ground dwelling or bottom dwelling critters. And then you get to place a certain number of like swimming critters.
Interesting.
Yeah. So for people that like me hold on to the legendary fish and don't sell them because you only get one, uh, that's the perfect use for them. And then they actually swim around when you put them in the fish tank.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Right now I
That's
have it's a horrible fish tank because it's like all the bumbly looking ones. So it's the angler, the mutant carp, and the glacier fish. So it's all the
okay.
ones that kind of have the buck teeth
Yep.
and just the open mouths, like, and they have weird people faces.
I
Like I
mean,
don't
it's
have
not as
the
bad as a.
so I guess I'll have that, and then I'll have another tank for like the actual fish looking fish. So but yeah, beach farm. So folks who watched that stream and saw me start up a playthrough on the beach farm. Beach farm's hard.
Mm-hmm.
You don't realize how much time you lose not being able to use sprinklers. Um, and then because you lose that time, like it prevents you from growing out your farm, like from growing crops too much.
Yeah. You really
Um,
have to basically get the greenhouse, and that's really the only place
yeah, which
to
you can't get that
grow.
until winter, really,
Yeah.
at the earliest. Um, it's
By the way,
also really
did
big.
you plant your red cabbage in the greenhouse yet?
I did, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I actually, um, so I've gone through year one. So I'm in like spring 3 or 4 on year 2. Um,
Okay.
so yeah, I've played through basically an entire in-game year since I streamed, pretty much. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, so I did get that. Uh, let's see.
Like,
So
'cause you got the red
basically, the only thing I
cabbage.
have left is a truffle, and
Yep.
then just throwing money at the vault. Um,
Yeah.
but again, I mean, even year one, I have no ancient fruit. I have no dinosaurs.
I
Um,
still don't have dinosaurs.
I am
I still can't find the dinosaur egg.
just getting around to upgrading the barn to deluxe barn.
Mhm.
So I haven't gotten truffles or sheep, like no pigs, no sheep. Um,
Okay.
so really, and it's just been making money on the beach farm has become such a problem. Like, you really need to focus on fishing, um, because mining just doesn't give you enough consistent money unless you're selling
Fair.
infrastructure type stuff. Like, you have to sell metal in order to
Yeah.
consistently get money, and you don't want to because you need that to craft. Um,
Yeah.
but then and foraging is great for building skill ups and getting like wood, but again, like you don't get enough money from that unless you have a high enough level of foraging already and you're
Yeah.
getting like double items and they're purple quality and stuff like that. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
so really, it takes a long time to generate income. Um, and so even with the greenhouse, it's I just have a bunch of cranberries in there, but it's not full of cranberries. It's just like enough for 2 sprinklers because that's all I have. Because if you can't use sprinklers, there's no point in crafting sprinklers.
Mhm.
Um, so basically, all I have left as far as buildings, are the mill, um, and upgrading the house.
Yeah.
Um, but I think for as word of advice for folks that want to try the beach farm is you focus on animals
Oh, yeah.
because you get a
Oh, this is
ton of, like, it starts with a ton of fields on it.
so
Um,
this is my
and you do a lot of
question.
fishing too.
So, this is my question with the beach farm.
Yeah,
Are pigs going to be able to find truffles in the sand?
I assume so.
Okay.
They didn't mention anything specifically about that in the patch
I'm like, I
notes.
haven't seen anything about that, like, that's restrictive on the beach farm with the exception of that you can't have sprinklers. So, but then I just thought about that. I was like, wait a second. Can they?
Concerned Ape says
Can
yes.
they? Okay.
Yes. Because otherwise, there's no other way to get truffles. Like, you would have to
Fair. Yeah.
rely on the traveling cart, and
Uh,
that's
yeah, you can get lucky in the traveling cart like I did. I've gotten so lucky on my Steam game, Sean. I had the
I don't
stone
wanna hear it.
owl appear,
I don't wanna hear it.
and and with the stone owl appearing has a 1% chance. 1%, yeah,
I mean,
1%
I
chance of
got that
happening.
on stream,
I
I'm
also
pretty
got the
sure.
strange capsule.
I don't know what that is.
That's the alien capsule that
Whatever.
then becomes an empty capsule like 3 days later, and it's you then have another 1% chance of seeing something going off um at the
Oh,
bus stop, but I didn't see that.
hmm,
But yeah, two things that have a 1% chance of happening.
yeah.
I got them both.
Um, so, I mean, we talked about last week how you were talking about Ginger Island, um,
Yeah.
but I had never done
You're
the night
close.
market before, so that's new.
Oh,
I was kind of
yeah.
not impressed. I mean, it's basically just a
Really?
bunch of other shops that had a whole bunch of stuff for sale that I didn't want or need. And then deep sea fishing, which eh,
I'm like,
you have
the
to spend
deep
a
sea
thousand
fishing is
gold. It takes a
nice.
long time to get down there and a long time to get back up. Um, and then it's a couple of fish that you can't otherwise get. I don't know. It was also at a time when I was like, I would rather be doing other things. It was often like when I was trying to push down into the mines, and like five
Oh, yeah,
o'clock would
because
roll
it's a
around.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday
Yeah,
at 5 o'clock it starts.
yeah,
So I can hear that.
yeah.
But did you see
Um,
the mermaid show?
I did, and then I
Okay.
was like, okay,
There's a thing, there's a secret note that goes with the mermaid show.
oh well, I didn't have
I
secret
will
notes
not,
unlocked by then.
no, I know. I'm just telling you so that when you get your magnifying glass, find the secret note for that, then you should know for winter two, winter of year two. You
Okay,
should have it and it
all
should
right,
be there and it's fun.
I will.
I really like the night market because of the fact that I can stock up on some seeds if I was foolish and didn't give myself a stockpile of them because usually on the last day of every season, I'll go to Pierre's or if I'm growing stuff from Pierre's, I'll go to Pierre's and I'll just get. I like to call it a stack of seeds, which is 999. Um,
Well, yeah, but that
because
you're how
that's the
like a
kind of
decade
farming that
into
I
the game.
Yeah, that's on my Switch game. But I like to go and I like to get a lot of seeds so that I'm ready for day one the next year. If I've forgotten to do that, or let's say I have a weird quest that I need one or something, and it's not a timed quest, um, I like to be able to during the night market to be able to go and get those because first night is spring seeds, second night is summer seeds, third night is fall seeds.
Yeah.
So, also I
Yeah,
like
I
some of the
remember
artwork.
that's how I picked up all the cranberry seeds to put in the greenhouse.
Yeah. Cranberries are a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, until you can get ancient fruit, I think it's
Oh, yeah.
one of the better options for profitability.
Cranberries or strawberries.
Yeah, which um but I don't know if strawberries continually produce like cranberries do.
Yes, they do.
They do?
They do.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, they
Um
do.
but you know what? We'll settle this right now.
Because I have because I have strawberries and ancient fruit growing in my Steam game where greenhouse right now. Um because that was what I did with my money year 1 is I just spent it all on strawberry seeds. But um
Sorry. I'm looking up right now. Uh
yeah, cuz every 3 days after it
okay, strawberries not bad, not bad.
yeah, after every 3 days harvest 1 2 3 harvest. Um and that's basically all I have
Oof, wow.
growing.
Rice, you just lose money on rice.
Yeah.
I guess if you buy it.
Yeah, I'm not too I'm not too much of a fan
Okay, so
of
strawberries
rice.
are 20.83 gold a day if you plant it on spring 1.
Mhm.
So assuming that it continually produces like in the greenhouse,
It
20.83.
does. Yep.
Um well no, what I mean is not that it assuming that it works that way, but for the
Assuming that
factor
you've
of it
planted it
that it's
in
continually
the
producing. Um
yes.
Blueberries are slightly behind, but practically the same.
Well, let's see. That also doesn't include time to make
Cranberries,
it to wine.
uh, cranberries. Oh, nope, yeah, they are better than cranberries. So,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, that means I should have just planted blueberries.
Blueberries are another strawberries and blueberries, as much as I don't like myself blueberries in game are nice because you'll more often than strawberries with blueberries, you will get multiples in a single from a
Yes.
single
Well,
plant.
and that's how this is factoring in the overall amount of fruit that you get, the sale
Yeah.
price, and whether it continues producing.
Yeah.
Um,
An interesting fact, strawberry is not used in any recipes or quests.
eh,
Yeah.
it's fine, whatever. The best one though is coffee. If you get coffee for free,
Oh, oh, I hate coffee beans. I just hate growing them. They're a good crop, but they're just
if you buy them, you lose money.
yeah.
Although that's
But
assuming that it doesn't that you're not
but all
doing it
you
over and over and
really
over again.
Yeah, but all you really need to ever buy is one coffee because that produces like so many beans
And then
after.
you can turn it into coffee, which you can sell for even more money.
Yeah, can
So
turn
yeah.
or if you put I think it's 3 coffees together, you can make a triple es
Yes. Yeah.
which gets some real fun stuff going.
Yep. But yeah, obviously, the best option is ancient fruit.
Mhm.
But if you can't do that, strawberries, blueberries, or potentially cranberries. So there
Yes.
you go. All right. Let's see. Anything else that was in 1.5? Trying to think.
I don't know, Sean, you're getting so close to being able to go to the island.
There's like all these different like sort of late game quests, like special requests and stuff. I think that adds
Mhm.
a nice little element to keeping things fresh and interesting.
Mhm.
Um, and they're a little challenging, especially if you don't pick them up right away.
Mhm.
So especially since you can't stockpile stuff beforehand, which is kind of how the gathering quests work. Um, so yeah, I mean it's things like
Oh, you mean like the ones where like Clint asks for 30 copper ore
well,
or
that's the
something?
standard version. So it might be Clint
Okay.
asks you to kill 50 slime.
Yeah.
Um, and so normally he gives you a week to do it, which is like, okay, so you gotta go down into the mines like every day and find like 7 or 8 slime each day.
Yep.
Um, when you're like me, and sometimes you miss when those refresh, and you only have 3 days to do it, not possible.
Mhm.
So,
Well, I also
um,
one thing that I do like is and it's a very very simple thing that they did for 1.5, but the clarity when you get quests that are timed, it now says final day as opposed to 1 day left. Like if you're on the last day of it, because there was a little bit of confusion of like, oh, well,
oh
do I have
yeah,
one
so
more
just
day
a
left, or
very
is
slight tweak that improved that. Yeah.
yep, yep, that tiny little word change because nothing else
Also,
changed
tree
was really
fertilizer.
nice.
You can make basically it's a speed growth for non-fruit trees,
Hmm.
which helps for collecting wood.
Yes. Also,
Oh,
how are
and
you
fish
liking
ponds.
mahogany
Fish
trees?
ponds are new.
Hmm?
Fish pond.
Yes, yes, that's another one that just is. I don't know if it's because when I made it in my switch farm, it was I was doing it to get sturgeon, to get caviar, but, like, it was a pain in the
I, I
butt.
caught 2 sturgeon s- year one spring and held on to them until I got the fish pond.
Nice.
Realized I only needed one, uh,
Yep.
but then I had one to just throw right into the pond when it upgraded.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's been an interesting addition, as well as signs that show stuff on there. I don't remember that being in the last time I
Yes, that
played.
is a new yes, that's a new 1.4 thing.
So that
Yeah.
like
Now you're
when you
making me go
throw them
back,
on the fish
Sean.
pond, it automatically updates to show like how many fish are in the pond and what kind of fish are in the pond. So that's cool.
Mhm.
Um, I'm interested to see like what else you can put it in front of to have it auto update. Um,
All
it'd be nice if I
sorts of
could put it in
things,
front of
actually.
trees to tell me what kind of tree it is. That's more I'm setting up like a little grove down in the foraging
I
part on the beach.
don't think that you can, um,
Yeah.
with trees because fruit trees, you still need to give them their space. Unless
Well,
you
no, what
put
I
it
mean
out
is,
far enough away.
yeah,
Because fruit trees can't have anything in the 8 surrounding it.
yeah,
So I'm not sure if the sign would trigger
yeah. I don't know.
if you put it a block away. That's my only thing is I'm just not sure if that would trigger that.
why don't we look it up?
But yeah, I have not actually used the um I haven't actually used the signs that much, but that's because I know it's 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 my house and
So
I'm doing what I
technically you
want.
can. So the way they work is you take an item from your inventory and you just slap it on the sign and it turns into an image.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So in theory, I could by slapping like an acorn or a
Yeah.
maple seed or a pine cone or something on there,
Mhm.
or a mahogany seed,
Yeah, those are pretty, aren't they?
that thing. Uh, I mean, they're a pretty good source of hardwood.
I meant the physical artwork for the mahogany seat. I thought
I
that was
know what you meant. I'm making a pun. So,
but
all right.
no, I
We are kind of
genuinely I really like them. So,
yeah
yeah, they're great for hardwood.
yeah.
So nice.
We are kind of rambling on a bit, so we'll wrap this up and get right into quest log. All right, so quest log is where we talk about what we are working towards in our geeky pursuits. So,
Yes.
Courtney, I know you've written a short book for quest
It's
log that
really just kind of updating.
you just keep updating and adding to. So, can we get the
Well,
cliff
I'm
notes?
deleting as well. I'm
Can we get
deleting
the
as
cliff
well.
notes for what you've been working on and
Yes.
what you would like to work on for
Yes.
this week?
What I have been working on, not so much the last 4 days because I've been really out of commission, but I'm still working towards my ostriches. I am still working on it. I have to get the 10th journal note. So journal note number 10 on the island before I can get the clue to get an egg. Um, I don't think I can actually get lucky with an egg dropping from a monster. Um, that being said, I have been going to the island quite a lot, fighting a lot of fire sprites, which are just adorable, but will burn the heck out of you. Uh, Fighting some dragons, and I've gotten a couple of their teeth. These are like lava dragons that come out, and you can. There's a small percent chance that you can get one of their teeth um, when you kill them. Um, and I am still just I am finding that the easiest way for me to earn walnuts, to earn golden walnuts, is by fighting in the lava mines in the volcano. Um, I'm trying to get to 20 so that I can build the island farmhouse so I can stay there overnight. Because then I can actually start doing things like farming in the farm area because having to stay on the like having to get up and get to the island, like get down to the beach for 8:30 in the morning and then I have to come home by like 11:30 midnight at the latest. It's really difficult when I can't
Why
spend
aren't
the
you
night
using
there
your fancy schmancy return scepter, Courtney?
cuz I don't have 2 mil yet.
Oh, okay. Why aren't you using totems, Courtney?
Because I am using them but not enough.
I mean, especially if
I
you can
actually
warp to the
am
beach and
using
then warp
totems
to
this
home.
time. Something that I found is totems are actually appearing a lot more when I'm doing foraging
Yeah, I've
than I've
noticed that
ever
too.
had them appear before.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so basically I'm just trying to get those walnuts so that I can build so that the parrots can build me the island farmhouse and fix that up so that I can sleep there. Um, and then I'm going to start farming stuff. I do have I found a bunch of ginger on Ginger Island. Shocking, I know. Um, and so I'm really just trying to get some seeds to get growing more things. Um, I'm not sure if I said this before, but I have enough points to pass Grandpa's evaluation. Um, I'm in the mid to high 20 days of winter 2, so I'm almost to his evaluation. Um, I still have to do the movie theater bundle, but I was able to get some caviar either at the night market or the traveling cart, so I don't have to go through the hassle of building up a sturgeon farm, um, which I was pretty happy about. And I'm not even going to try and get the void salmon because no.
Void salmon.
Yep. A certain level of gold void salmon as well. I believe it has to be a gold void salmon.
Oh, that should be no
Um,
problem for me.
yeah. I'm currently working on brewing and aging some wine in my basement because last time I updated y'all, that was still getting built in game. That has been built. Barn has been built and upgraded entirely. Coop has been built and upgraded entirely. Um, and I bought a piggy because I need a truffle. Um, but I'm working on a silo is being built right now, and I have some hay already. So yeah, the first animal that I bought,
Wait, you're 3 years in and you're just building silos now?
I have this pig is literally the first animal that I've bought and not immediately sold off again.
What?
I don't do aminals.
They're so easy, though. They're so much easier than crops.
I like the money that crops bring.
Yeah, but I like cheese and mayonnaise. Can crops give you mayonnaise? They cannot.
No, but ostrich eggs can give me 10 mayonnaise for 1 egg.
Yeah, but that's an animal, Courtney.
Yes, my barn is ready. I just need the correct animals to put in them. I'm having a pig for as long as it takes for me to get a truffle, and then I'm selling it. And I still need a dinosaur egg. Still need a dinosaur egg.
So terrible for you.
Dinosaurs, dinosaurs and ostriches. This is my farm plan.
So terrible. All
Um,
right.
yeah, unfortunately I've been really sick this past week, so I have not done any 4 days. And it feels a little weird. So I'm probably going to do some of that tonight. But I am still making progress towards my goal.
Okay.
What about you, Sean?
All
I
right.
saw
So I
you
got
just put
2
something
out
in.
of 3 done. I haven't created any item icons. I have been instead working on coloring multiple comics a week. In trying to keep to my resolution of finishing them all by the end of the year. Um,
Nice.
so I did that. I did upgrade the Queen's Conservatory in World of Warcraft. So I got that
Nice.
done. Still figuring out how it works. And messed everything up trying to figure out how it works. So it'll cost me a couple days of trying to get what I want to do, which is one of my goals for this week. So the usual coloring comics item icon. I had upgrade the barn, but I was able to play a bunch of Stardew Valley today. Uh, we'll say unofficially, quote unquote, um, and was able to get that done. So instead, it's going to be the whole point of upgrading the conservatory is getting the turtle spirit form. So uh, players that choose the Night Fae as their covenant in WoW Shadowlands
Mhm.
get like one of their abilities is they turn into an animal spirit and they move around quick and they can teleport and stuff for a limited
You want to
time.
be a turtle.
And so basically, I didn't even realize it was going to be an option. So some of the options that they have are like a giant frog, a moth, a deer, a wolf. You start off as a fox, uh,
Cool.
but obviously, turtle's the best option. And who doesn't want to be a moving, fast, teleporting turtle? So, and there's a little bit of a process involved in to get it. So now that I have the upgraded Queen's Conservatory, I'm able to go through that process. So it's a matter of just going through that process and trying to get the drop. It's a rare drop. So
Nice.
yeah, and that's it. So, with that, we're going to wrap things up for tonight. So be sure to tune in Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for Scott Pilgrim, as well as Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for Scott Pilgrim, um, as voted on by you. And when I say you, I mean Courtney and our friend Heather, who's in the chat. Uh, so if you don't like that and you want to have a say, you
Yeah.
can uh, become a subscriber right here on Twitch, or you can become a patron at patreon.com/8bitadventures. Other benefits to being a patron include exclusive access to Speedy and Monty comics. You can get 8-Bit Adventures comics a day early. You get exclusive access to sort of playtest versions of Tales of Jamora content.
Mhm.
Um, and discount on merch. So,
Yeah.
um,
And
if you
there's
want
new
to see more
merch.
content of 8-Bit Adventures, including the 8-Bit Adventures comic, be sure to check out um, http. I'm not going to say it now. www.8-bitadventures.com. And over there, you can find artwork, comics, streams, podcasts, and more. Big shout out and
Mhm.
thank you to Professor Shy Guy for One Up, which we use for our theme on this podcast. You can find his work over at professorshyguy.bandcamp.com. And with that, we are done. So, as always, have fun, everyone. Happy gaming. Enjoy your pie cake, and happy 2021.
Bye, everybody.